Okay, so I don't know if I should address all the assumptions in that question, but it's anecdotally, it's worth saying that I got my start in software development right after the dot-com bust, right? So right after that kind of dip in the 2000s when everybody was sure that, initially tech was going to eat the world, and then nobody thought tech was going to do anything for a while. That's when I got into coding, and so I can just say, at least anecdotally, that it was very beneficial for me, not just from a job perspective, but from a startup perspective, from a life perspective. I was telling somebody this earlier. They were asking, why do we all need to learn to code, right? And I said, well, you look at education and the way it's structured right now, and you look at mathematics, and if you don't know mathematics, you're not going to understand a lot of the world we live in, right? If you don't understand basic math, or even a little bit more advanced math, you might struggle understanding basic things around us. I think that code is the same way, and it's going to continue to be the same way and grow, in that sense as the years go by. The Department of Labor Statistics estimates, by 2020, a 22% job increase with software development, IT-related jobs. I don't think they're really looking at like bubbles and trends. They're just looking at kind of macro trends. So I think, if anything, if we believe that, if we believe Andreessen Horowitz and that, software is eating the world, then the opportunity for coding may, there's always going to be valleys and peaks, but overall that trend is going to continue upward, and software is going to continue to be a part of our everyday lives. If you look at the Internet of Things, if you look at all the things that are happening in our world, you're going to need code to understand what's happening and to relate to those things, to configure your life, to kind of hack your own experience, and it's going to set you apart because of it.
So Gartner Group is a leading think tank and consulting firm, and they came up in the 90s with a concept called the peak of inflated expectations. And this is where new technology gets everybody super excited, and the expectations are overinflated. And then there's a crash and a trough of disillusionment. This was the period you were talking about. And what happened was everybody go, oh, tech, but really then it comes out of this trough and it's a steady climb up for an elongated period. And that's what the internet and this call for text did in the 90s. And I think we've got decades left of climbing up with real companies. The companies that came out of the dot-com era that weren't fluffy but were real are now the leaders today, building incredible dynasties and incredible things in the future. I still get asked constantly, 10 times a week, at least 3 times a day, gotta find a coder right now. Where do I find a coder? And I think it's gonna be that way for a long time, and into the future I don't see any abatement until decades from now, when maybe robots start affecting this, and that's decades away.